podcast called Jellison Podcast.
He probably doesn't remember this at all.
Yeah, we work together. It's easy.
This is kind of real. I pull shit.
And so it's really cool to get to be a part of that.
Hey, you know how it is, though. Hey, when
you now tune into the biggest ever.
We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
What's up, everyone? We're back with episode 143 of the Jellison Podcast. I have a very special guest, an entrepreneur in the fashion space, former NFL running back, Andre Williams. Andre, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Dub? Thanks for having me on, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming on. From the jump, talk about your fashion business, everything you've been doing with that. It's truly inspiring. I told you this. It's inspiring to see you put this work in and are starting to reap the rewards. I mean, you had a commercial on the NFC Championship game, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, man. So I'm 6 years in now. I just recently opened up my first retail space in Center Valley, Pennsylvania. So it's a outdoor shopping mall called the Promenade at Saucon Valley. And so, yep, I got a little spot. I'm in my showroom now. I'm at work now. And, this is my first retail store. I've been mainly online. I tried jumping into the retail distribution route and actually got into Liberty Fair Trade Show in 2019. And that was the time when, things in the retail space was starting to get really rocky. The volume of buyers passing through that area at the time. I did New York, I did Vegas, and it was very different than how it usually goes, as they told. I did manage to land an account, not in the US, but I was selling out of a store in Canada called Dutille, and they have 3 locations in Toronto and where else are they at? Calgary and Vancouver, and 3 cities over there, 3 of the major cities. The pandemic happened as soon as I got my goods in. That was March of 2020. And so everything shut down till wintertime. I guess they opened up back again in November or so, and we're selling a unit or 2 a month, sometimes 9, and it just wasn't hitting like we thought it would in the beginning. They sent their goods back. I had just finished playing ball in Houston with the XFL Roughnecks, and then ended up back in Pennsylvania where I had finished high school and decided that, it was time for me to put my roots down, put the football down, really retire from it and stop half-stepping on this thing that I started 6 years ago. And, there were reasons why I couldn't give it my all, but mostly, if you are going to do business, you got to be all in. It can't be, I run a company and I also do this. Or if this business that I had, I really had to, figure out what was selvage denim. What does that even mean before I could pick up my product and confidently put it in your hands and say, look, this is the best pair of jeans you're going to find anywhere around here. I know that, Mm-hmm. But 6 years ago, I was playing ball in New York with the Giants, and I had a marketing agent, and he had this company called Little Red Jet. So Little Red Jet introduced me to this guy, Eamon Walsh, that was doing footwear in New York. He was doing some nice shoes, nice leather shoes, suede. It was called One Ground Footwear. And Eamon, he said, you're a running back in the NFL. I could extend my creative faculties to you, and I could help you build a shoe, and we could release something together. And the idea to have a signature shoe as an NFL running back, that appealed to me. So of course I jumped at it because I was always somebody that liked to tinker, to craft, to put things together. At the time, I had bought a townhouse and had built a fragrance lab in my townhouse. So I was, buying materials, essential oils and different things, lye and whatnot to make soap and candles, different stuff like that. So I was always like that. And so ended up working with Eamon, got with his designer. We drafted up some sketches, made tech packs, got our first samples back from the factory. And, when we decided to make the shoe, he's like, look, this is not going to be like Vans, not something that is $40, something that could be $200 plus. This is the same factory out in Spain that is producing the Balenciagas. So early on, I got used to dealing with upper level fabrics and construction, those type of things, as far as apparel manufacture goes. So the first thing that I was able to make, what we came up with, was the Running Man. This is the Running Man red herring. So it's an ultra low top leather loafer. It looks like a lace up, but it's a loafer. That's why I call it the Running Man red herring, because it has a gourd system in it that is actually a slip on. So the laces are a red herring. They don't really mean much. Yeah. So made the shoe and it was lovely. Everybody liked it, but then you make the shoe, and then so now you have a bunch of shoes you produced. You're sitting on what, 400 pairs of shoes. What do I do now? Now you have to market, and you have to figure out who you're going to distribute to, or if you're going to go direct to consumer. That means you're going to start your own space up, or you're going to go online. You're going to have brick and mortar. It's a dichotomy between the artist and the salesman. And then the part of that that you really have to capture is, okay, of course, as an artist, I want to make something that's important to me and something that I think everybody else is going to like, but everybody else is the market. And is the market oversaturated with the product that you have? Is it special? Is it unique? Is it set apart? I really only made the shoe because it was cool. I wasn't really thinking about a marketable reason to make shoes. And when I impressed a brand developer in the city with the shoe, and he asked me that question, he said, why did you make the shoe? And that was the only reason I could come up with in my head was because it was cool, and so, I realized that it was going to be hard to break into the fashion world with something like what I created, a shoe, and no real other reason behind it. So then that conversation I had with him, we talked for 3 hours, and he got my mind just spinning and spinning. And then I thought to myself, I don't wear jeans because there's nobody that's really making a fit for my build, an athletic fit. And so when I talked to him about it, he said, all right, now that's something, because you're right. There is nobody making an athletic fit with high-end denim, So I took a chance back then after I met this brand developer, and that conversation I had, he gave me so much information. He qualified himself as somebody that could take me to the next level as far as producing high quality product and producing something like athletic fit selvage denim, something that is a niche in a rich part of the market, the premium market. So, now I have something, and I realize what I have is this product is, as far as fabric and construction, my competitors is Diesel, Tom Ford, anybody that can get their hands on some high quality selvage and craft it together in a way that people are going to love. So very excited. My main goal right now, getting to season 2. I have a lot of fabrics that I've milled out in Japan, and I just need to bring them across the ocean. So if I could just get enough sales. You know, I need my first 1,000 sales, and I'll be able to start making product over here in the US. I'll bring my stuff out to LA and start cutting out there. I have some fabrics for the ladies. I have some tops, jackets that I want to get into. I got this double black selvage denim. I'm calling it Denzel, and I want to do the jeans, the button down, and the jacket, maybe a vest too, you know? So,
that
yeah.
it's super cool to hear about some for me. I'm not like huge into fashion, obviously, as you can tell by my attire. So it is really interesting to hear all the different things that go into it. And I mean, you going into an insanely competitive and hard market to get into. I mean, that's kind of on par with playing football. I mean, I don't know what the number is now. It's like the 2% go to college, and then like 2% of that go to the pro level. I mean,
just like I knew that I had talent, right? I always knew I had talent on the football field, and I wanted to compete with the best, because if I'm trying to be the best at what I do, I have to compete against the best. I can't, you know, throw my weight against the little guys. I gotta go big. So it's the same thing with the clothing. You say you're not into fashion. Look, I'm really not into fashion either, Dub. Like, I think that I have style, but I never, like, when I was growing up, I wasn't paying attention to what everybody else in my industry is doing the way that I do now, because I didn't care about fashion. The thing that I know influenced my style the most, my very first pillar, when I first started dressing myself to go to school, my dad, he said to me one time, he said, "Hey, Dre, you got a belt on?" And I'm looking, I'm like, "No, I ain't got no belt on." He said, "You ain't got no belt, you might as well not be wearing pants at all." And so every time I put on my pants, I really have to have a belt on. That's just how I wear my pants. That's how I was influenced, how I was taught, that's how I grew up, you know? So I never followed the sag your pants trend, because that just wasn't my style, you know? So I think fashion is cool. There's something new, something edgy, and trendy, you know? But I think you can be fashionable and still not have any style, you know? You could have all the right things and still do it wrong, you know? But fashion can help you find your style, but everybody still has to make a decision on who they want to be in their clothes.
Yeah, that's true. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people really consider. Like, I feel like a lot of people just like, oh, I like this shirt, I'm gonna throw it on. They don't really think about like how they're gonna portray themselves to other people in finding their style, if that makes sense.
It's true. That's true, because that's what clothes do for you. They qualify you in a sense. First, you can't go anywhere and not have any clothes on. You have to have clothes on, you know? So that's what is so significant about clothes. It's our oldest technology. You know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
When Adam and Eve first ate the fruit of knowledge and evil, what's the first thing that they did?
Put them clothes on.
They made clothes and put them on. So we've been doing this from the jump, from way back when, you know? So that's another part of why I think clothes is so interesting, because I'm like, we've been wearing clothes for so long, but I feel like our clothes could have so much more utility than just covering our body, you know? In 2022 now, we gotta start putting the clothing, upgrade the tech, you know? What if you had this? So I know that there's a material, and it's one of those things where if it rubs against something, it's gonna produce a current, you know? But it's like a fiber, and I could build it into another fabric. I could build it into a fabric so that now you have a pocket bag, right? You put your phone in the pocket bag, And guess what? As you're walking around with that phone, your phone is charging up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There might be some technicalities that we gotta work out, but I'm really thinking about things like that, you know. I like clothes. I didn't know I was gonna like clothes. Beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, in your industry especially, I feel like it's really cool to see how your guys' minds work. I mean, because I didn't even really consider, I didn't even know that was possible, honestly. But yeah, I mean, going back to kind of the how Adam and Eve kind of started with the clothes and everything like that. I mean, I feel like obviously from that point in time, millions of years ago or however long it was, to now, I mean, we've made a lot of strides in terms of just like creating style and making things different. But nowadays, I mean, there's a lot of people that are just like rocking retro stuff. So it's taking people like you, or I think a big example is like someone like Kanye. He's doing all these things that are like really out there in terms of fashion and what he wears. And some people are like, this, I don't, what the hell is this dude wearing? But like he's trying to just further expand and evolve the fashion industry, I guess.
Everybody got a different idea about what Kanye is doing yesterday or today, even Kanye himself. So I can't speak on what he's doing. But you know, we've taken it far. We've seen everybody dressed in this and that, but the infrastructure behind clothing is where I think we are lacking the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you make a shirt, it took you a lot of cotton and water and this and that to make it. How long is it gonna last? And when it's done, can it be reused? Can it be recycled? And there is no true, in general, our recycling infrastructure is bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even over here in the US, the industrial, whatever, we're a first world nation. We're still sending our garbage and recycling other places. We don't know how to do it over here because we haven't actually invested in the technologies to do so. But, you know, imagine how much we waste. And if we really invested in reduce, reuse, recycle, and we could recycle 80 or 90% of the materials we use, yo, you know how much money we'd be saving? And I'm sure we would learn a whole lot on the way. You know, so clothing, you know, the infrastructure behind it has to change if we want fashion to be sustainable. If we want the leeway to be able to just do and look and create whatever we want, we got to be more what's the word, responsible with the things that go into it.
Yeah. And what, like, I remember this was a while ago. I'm sure they've done it in a bunch of different things, but I remember a shoe company, I forget which one it was. They took a bunch of shoes that were like all worn down and they melted them and made like a basketball court out of them. I mean, simple stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, there's just so many different ways you can take it. It's so interesting.
Yeah. Have to take it that way, have to want to take it that way instead of just wanting to slap a price on something and call it hard work and creativity and just collect a bunch of money. You know, there has to be a reason behind why. So I want more of that for my company.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, for the future, what types of things would you like to do in terms of innovation and some of the things you kind of talked about?
Well, just for the most part, the main thing that I think I would like to do is just change people's minds about how we think about our clothes, you know, as not something that we use up and throw away, but something like selvage denim. It's gonna, you can wear these for the next 10 years the style of these, a classic 5-pocket jean, it ain't never gonna go out of style, but it has to last that long. And if it wears out a little bit, depending on how you wearing it or how you built or whatever, can you repair it? Is it gonna even look good? Is it worth repairing? Yeah, but that means also that I'm willing to spend a little bit of extra money to buy $150, $200 pair of jeans or jacket, something like that. People, it seems like not everybody's so used to that. They want it to be cheap. They want the best thing, but they want it to be cheap. We're really, you see the stuff going on with the money. Money is real funny these days. You know what I'm saying? Prices are out of whack. So things ain't gonna be so cheap anymore. We did live like that for a long time when, we had other countries that were creating our product for us. But if we want to create the product over here, it's gonna take a major investment on the business side and on the consumer side. So I'm with it. I believe in that. Definitely made in USA. I'm gonna work it out in LA and see what's good over there, but it's not gonna be as good as my first season, which I did in China. And you know why? Because the sewing machine over there that I used to make the AW, that was the latest one that they had, the Juki. Japanese sewing machine. That was Juki 2016 or 2017 that put that together. I'm looking around in LA right now. Latest I found was 2010, So I'm sending my samples certain places and they're telling me like, we can't really do that. We can't repeat it. I can probably give you 40%, but that's not good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be major investment on my side as well. But like I said, I'm willing to do it because one, that's what everybody wants. That's how you build a brand. That's how you tell a story. Give people what they want, and it'll get better over time. But you got to go through that hard, uncomfortable place first. You can't be afraid to roll the dice, and I think that this is that moment for me. Like you ever seen Forrest Gump?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is Bubba Gump shrimp moment. This is the big storm that knocked everybody out the water, and I'm gonna survive. I'm Lieutenant Dan. I'm not going down.
Dude, I mean, that's just your mindset though. I mean, sitting here, we talk for what, 15, 20 minutes. I can already tell that you're just uber motivated, uber focused on all these different things that are kind of outside the box, outside of the norm, especially in your industry.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you kind of find that mentality, especially in this market?
My dad is he's a business owner. He's an HVAC contractor. So I've always watched him and got my work ethic from him. Playing professional sports and being part of big organizations that have had success and generated support and illicit emotion from large groups of people. That's really inspiring to me. I'm not really a political person. I would describe myself as apolitical. I'm pro-business. And so, I just been around being able to play in the NFL, and just life experiences, having kids and seeing that my kids are a version of me that I casted out into the future. So my position as the father is to build the foundation so that they can go further into the future than I'm gonna go. So I know that there are athletic, handsome, smart, intelligent. They're gonna do way better than me. So I have a huge responsibility to build something for them. And you know, I've ran into great people, just, you know, being open-minded and not being afraid to roll the dice, spend a little money to learn something that you're never going to learn by reading it in a book. You know, you just have to experience it. Books are great, but you know, that life experience is priceless. So I would just say it just, and I have faith too. I know that there is a God out there, and he does have a plan for each one of our lives. So if I know that, then I really feel important. I really feel like I got something to do. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I can relate to that sentiment. I mean, like in terms of having those life experiences and go down and do a thing, not learning it from some book, like with this podcast, there's not anything that I could have read or studied or anything that could prepare me for like just having conversations and all the things that I do with it. You just kind of have to go out and do it. And it takes I'm not saying I'm like this, but it takes a special person to go out and take those chances in any industry that doesn't have a high level of success.
See, success is not like a luck thing or a chance or odds thing. For me, success is three things. In order to be successful, you have to have a brain, which means you have to be able to think for yourself and come to your own conclusions. Then after that, you have to be able to take courage and roll the dice, even when nobody else thinks it's a good idea. And the last thing is you have to always stay positive. You can do those three things, man, you're gonna be successful, no matter what. No matter what.
And not to cut you off, but there's a lot of people that have none of those three. And you see where they are, especially on like, I don't know, like social media and stuff, and people just don't have that mindset, and then they're always negative because they feel like they should be getting opportunities that they haven't earned. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You see that I mean, just everywhere in society today. But
what can we do, man? It ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody. That's all right.
No doubt. I want to talk about kind of your transition to life after football. I've had a lot of people on, not only football players, basketball, baseball, MMA, all that stuff. And more times than not, a lot of people talk about like struggling to find that passion after football. Do you feel blessed to be able to have something that you truly care about and can turn it into a career after your playing days?
No doubt. Absolutely. I don't know what I would be doing right now if I never would have I started doing this while I was playing ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I you know, when I first decided to go and get that first order of fabric and start on the denim thing, I knew, because of the amount of money that I was about to put down, like I was about to put down $250,000 of money that I just got.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know. But the thing was, it was in the stock market, right?
Mm.
I had a financial advisor invested in the stock market. It's my signing bonus, you know? So just didn't feel right handing it off to somebody else to make it grow over time, you know? I wanted to bet on myself, not on something that I'm leaving up to somebody else to predict, you know? So I rolled the dice big. So it could have went wrong. And if you think about it, that's all I've been doing is going wrong for 6 years, because you didn't hear about it till just now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying? So I've been failing for 6 years. But finally, because I didn't give up, now in year 6, something's happening. You know, I'm finding some success. So you know, I'm very thankful. but I'm also very proud because, man, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but I have a story to tell, and no one can take my confidence away from me in this product because I've gone too far.
No doubt. I mean, things that are worth waiting for end up being great. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you struggling and trying to find your way in this space. I mean, it's all going to work itself out eventually.
Right.
That, or I mean, you don't have any other choice. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
put so
Yeah.
much into this that I mean, especially the way you're wired, I don't think that you would let it fail.
No, I'm too stubborn.
You're just
for that.
gonna, yeah, you're just gonna keep trying, keep pushing. I mean, you might have to adjust. A lot of people don't want to adjust either. I mean, they're so set in their ways that they don't want to like take in other perspectives and be like, oh, okay, maybe I should try this way. And then that way might be the golden brick road. And then you're making millions and having all the success and getting all these blessings.
It took Elon Musk 10 years. Took him 10 years. Jeff too. Took him a long time before they really hit, but they was broke before that. They was borrowing money from a lot of people. So you really got to be a little bit crazy, man.
I mean, all successful people are a little crazy.
Yeah.
You look at like Elon, he's such an interesting character. I mean, he's so like his mannerisms and how he talks and all that stuff. But the dude's making like subways underground that are going to go across the country, shooting stuff into space. I mean, it's bananas. And people think he's crazy. People like when the internet first started and they started doing like Microsoft and stuff like that, people thought Bill Gates and Ballmer and all those dudes were crazy. They're like, we don't understand what this is. Now look at him.
Yeah. Just same thing with Elon. He got this electric car and it's, futuristic. It's a big computer almost. Putting up the Starlink system. It's going to have the global Wi-Fi net. So now your car really is a computer, really is a phone, really is all of those things if you set it up properly. He's also figuring out how to store solar energy more efficiently and get your house connected, put the solar panels on there, put the giant battery in your basement that's storing energy. You don't got to worry about what's going on with, the grid. He's next level. He's next level. I think he might take it a little bit too far with the brain machine interfaces, and we put the chips in people's heads, and because now he's got you because you're on his grid, you're on his Starlink. You know what I'm saying? So he's a genius. I respect the crap out of him, but I'm so scared that he's gonna be like the Lex Luthor of Gotham City in the future, like super evil genius.
And I mean, he's got all the resources to kind of do it, which is.
And on the other side, you got Jeff talking about, I'm working on not dying. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how to live forever.
All this stuff is kind of scary when you like break it down. It's like,
yes,
future could get a little hairy with everything going on.
It is hairy, man. It is, but it's life. No man can stop the time. As much money as they have, no man can stop the time. It's gonna be over when it's over, and everybody's still gonna have their opportunity to live their life and make their choices. So, just enjoy.
And I know we're getting close on time, but I want to talk about your football career. Obviously, that's how I was introduced to you when you were back at Boston College. I mean, what was that like that last year there when you kind of burst onto the national stage? You got all that recognition, the Heisman finalist, Doak Walker winner. What was that like to experience?
I don't know. I don't think I was growing up enough yet to really appreciate what I was doing at the time. the social situation at BC got very uncomfortable to a certain extent. Like, people that was calling you Dre yesterday, I'm just Andre today, tomorrow, I'm Mr. Williams. And it just was, I just started spending a lot of time off campus with my girlfriend at the time. And I was kind of running away from the thing that I was becoming to a certain extent. And it ended up biting me in the ass, man. But that was just the experience that I had to go through at the time. Heisman was really cool. I ended up skipping my graduation because I had to fly to Florida. I went and picked up the Doak Walker Award at the College Football Awards, and then flew straight to New York that night to start the Heisman ceremony. And that was the same year that Jameis Winston won it. Johnny Football, he was in there. We had another running back, Trey Mason was in there, and he had just lost to Florida State in the national championship. They played Auburn, I believe. And then there was AJ McCarron was up from Alabama, and there was another quarterback from it might have been the MAC conference or that new conference that they had made up way back when.
So like Jordan Lynch?
Jordan Lynch. Yep. Jordan Lynch. Yeah.
He was good. He's damn good at Northern Illinois.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man. But it was a great time. I got a jersey from who is we exchanged jerseys. I saw one for him. He gave one to me. I'm so bad with names, Dub. This is the running back from the Oilers. They compared me to him. Yeah, I have one of his jerseys signed too. So that was a nice memento from the Heisman. And yeah, but when you get there, it's so much media stuff. Like, you are just going, and you don't really get to sleep. Like, we didn't get to sleep we didn't do no sleep. As soon as we got there, we started doing stuff. So, and it was also too, there was stuff going on between me and the school. Like, I'm representing Boston College in New York City at the Heisman, and I bought my own suit to the Heisman. I didn't have no money to get no nice suit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some things going on with college sports, athletics, and money and all of that stuff right now. It's busting open now because they're letting the kids really go ahead and make money off their likeness, this, that, and the third. But back when I was playing, it was tough, man. It was tough. So yeah, it was strictly business out there. My teammates, some of the people that I played with and graduated with that year or got drafted with are still my good friends. I could always, if they called me like, yo, I'm outside, I need to spend a weekend at your crib, yo, for sure, so there was definitely some great friendships that I took from those times. But yeah, it was, I was still a young man, but growing up, just, a little dummy. So made my mistakes, man, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great time. Learned a lot between 20 to 29 now. A lot. The 20s, it wasn't, if you have the energy and the time in your 20s to go ahead and hustle and start building something, you better do it and not waste time and think that you're going to be able to do it in the next decade. There's a lot of people now that I went to school with, and I'm looking back or looking at us now like, in the last 5 years, you didn't do much. You still in the same place. Don't let that be you, man. Don't let it be you, because the 20s is not about having fun. It's about hustling, because you got the energy to do it. You got the time to do it. If you make a mistake, you're going to recover, but don't just waste the time. You got to spend it on something worthwhile so that you start approaching your next decade. You know what direction you're going in.
Mm-hmm. And how I kind of look at, I might catch some heat from this if some of my friends listen, but a lot of people that I'm friends with or whatever, they like to go out and party and drink and all that stuff. I'm not really about that for other reasons, but I don't have any problem with it. But yeah, I've kind of been grinding, especially in college, to try to set myself up for the future. Because I mean, you can go chill if you retire at what, 50. I mean, you can just go chill for 30 years or however long you live. But yeah, like you said, I didn't really think about it like that though. That you have all this energy in your 20s, and then I mean, life's just gonna catch up to you when you're in your 30s and 40s. You have a family, you're trying to provide for them, and all that stuff.
Yup, it will catch up, man. It'll catch up, and sometimes you do things that are irreversible. They're gonna come with consequences that's gonna live with you. That happens. I'm saying I went through a divorce with my first son's mom. You know what I'm saying? And the divorce lasted longer than the marriage. And I don't put it out there like that, but I'm telling you, it kind of is a thing where you're going this way and then you'll just go that way, and you don't know how long off the road you're gonna go before you could come back, to where you're supposed to be. And of course, you're gonna learn and see and experience a whole lot going down that way, but you're gonna hurt too. So, yeah, man. And I can't say that I don't have any regrets. My situation with my family is good. I have wholeness now. Rolled the dice again, got remarried, and I definitely know that this is the right one. So, like I said, I have wholeness, and my kids we have great relationship, and they're perfect. So, happy, supremely happy. If you eat good food every day and go to sleep comfortably every day, you're going to be happy, my friend. And if you do it with people that you love every day, you're going to be supremely happy. That's human happiness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to,
Yeah.
It might be simplistic to some people, but I mean,
keep it simple.
You're living proof, though.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to talk about, you playing in New York. I feel like you would enjoy that experience of just being in the city that never sleeps. What was it like to play in that global market of New York with the media? I mean, we've all heard the stories and see the things that they post about the Knicks and Giants and Nets and all that stuff. And then what was it like to play with guys like Eli and OBJ and all the rest of them?
It was really cool, man. It was an experience that I'm not gonna forget. It had a big, significant impact on who I am today. Was being able to start life out like that. Eli is just like this goofy country, very professional guy, but he was an old man at the time when I was coming in. Great touch on football. That's, I think, is what made him special to me, because my biggest knock coming into the NFL was that, I ran for 2,177 yards, but had 0 receiving yards, so he's like, this guy doesn't catch the ball. And that first year, I wasn't a starter. I still had over 100 yards receiving. I still had, what I finished with 21 receptions, so Eli made me look good, so I will always forever appreciate him for that. And I came in with OBJ. That was my roommate during the rookie mini camp. So that was pretty cool. Different guy, but that was definitely cool. Watching him just that catch he had, the thing he did like that against the Cowboys. I was in on that play. It was a play action, and I almost I almost broke the play, but it ended up being great. Odell caught the ball in the end zone, did the crazy thing, and it was just crazy to watch how his stardom just exploded overnight. It was an experience. It was really cool, and I'm glad that I had my time. People always ask me if I miss it. I really don't. I'm happily retired. I'm beyond the game now, thinking about other things. But yeah, it was a great time, and I could still play. If I was playing now, I would. I'm in my prime. Like I'm in my prime. I would be Dre prime if I was still playing. But I enjoy being an athlete, and for me, what does that mean is if I put my mind to something and I practice, I get better at it, so to be an athlete is to be in training, you know what I'm saying? So I still train every day, and not just my body, but my mind and my spirit too, so I am an athlete. And I just enjoy doing that. As far as football, though,
You hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. I just had a phone call. I'm sorry. I said
Oh,
I had my time. I moved on to a different sport.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. Before I forget, I gotta get your opinion on the Super Bowl. Obviously, OBJ's with the Rams and Bengals. Who are you pulling for, or who do you want to win?
I think that the Rams are gonna win the game. I'm saying I root for. Who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for a lot of people. I'm not necessarily rooting for a team because even growing up, I never really had a favorite team. I just like players. I just watched the running backs. I was watching Tiki Barber. I was watching Curtis Martin. I think that the Rams just got too much star power. I'm saying I think that the Rams organization, the player personnel team upstairs, they're the most genius, the most valuable player personnel in the NFL right now because they put that team together yesterday. I'm saying
Yeah.
so. And that head coach, Sean McVay, he got people walking around talking about they love each other. I'm saying that's a real team. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm sure he put together two plays, a touchdown for Odell, touchdown for Coop, and ain't nobody ever seen this play before. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So, he's a genius. And I think that they have a lot of longevity. That squad. Stafford is not. He's not old. So, and how is oh boy, I know Joe is cool and all, but that defensive front, he's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You got Vaughn and you got Aaron Donald. Boy, he's in trouble.
And Leonard Floyd. I mean, he's a third option coming off
that whole defense is it's crazy. And I know that, I'm not discounting the Bengals. They're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're in the Super Bowl, but that's just what I'm feeling. I'm saying that's just how I think it's going to go. I want Odell to go get his first ring. I think he's going to get a new ring and a new baby this year. Those are those two things he's going to be blessed with. But I am rooting for Joe Burrow. I'm saying I like Joe. I like what he's doing for his city. I like the new generation of young quarterbacks that's come up now and the swagger that they are playing with and the way that they're carrying this league. So, I wanted Mahomes to get another one too. I root for a handful of guys, but I think that the Rams are going to take it. I just don't see how they don't.
Yeah, and I mean everything's pointing to them, but then I think about the Bengals and I'm like, okay, they're not supposed to be here. I feel like they're just destined to win. It's so I'm a Colts fan, so I don't have like a rooting interest, I guess. So I don't know. I feel like everything's pointing to the Rams are gonna win though, but I just can't.
It's any given Sunday, man. There's some ballers on that squad too. I like how Mixon played against the Titans and outplayed old boy over there. Who's the Titans running back?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Love Derrick Henry. So I love the Titans for how they spent time investing in his growth, and he has just sprouted into this monster, this thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I root for a lot of guys, but I don't necessarily. I look at the matchup, and I'm like, man, there's too much star power over there with the Rams. I think they got it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm leaning too. But like I said, I'm gonna wrap this up. I don't want to hold you any longer, but I really appreciate you coming on. I've never had a conversation that went in so many different ways and covered so many different topics. It was truly an honor.
I appreciate you, Dub. Thank you for having me on, man. And I hope that your audience enjoys our convo too, man.
Yes, sir. Before we get off, tell everyone where they can find you, social media, all that stuff.
No doubt. Yo, thank you for that reminder. So my personal Instagram is DreWill44. My business Instagram, where you're going to see everything about AW Selvage Denim Co. That's AW Selvage. So that's SELVEDGE. AW Selvage. And then my website, if you want to check out everything that's going on in the store, that's donandswagger.com. DONAND swagger, SWAGGER.com, donandswagger.com.
You heard the man. Everybody check him out. Andre, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Appreciate you, Dub. Have a blessed one, man. Finish up school.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
All right. Check you later.